People are sending me my face on things.
Oh,
Shout out Cavell for the merch.
Be sure to get your VeVe, Ecomi, and Omi merch at CavellAnderson.com. Our primary line will always be available, while our limited edition section will only ever have 100 items total and will never be sold again. Get it while supplies last. Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another VeVe and Ecomi video. In this one, we are going to be talking a little bit about the CEO of Ecomi, which is David Yu, obviously, and then we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the things that I've been hearing in comparison to the Recur associate, GaryVee. Now, I've been hearing a lot of crazy things. I've been hearing some claims like, okay, if I had to put up GaryVee against the entire VeVe team, GaryVee's winning all day. I'm on team GaryVee. And I mean, that's a very bold statement. Now, people may think that I just don't like GaryVee or something like that, when ironically, I'm a huge fan of GaryVee, which is why I can tell when he's BSing when it comes down to VeVe. It's I wouldn't be invested in VeVe without GaryVee. I had no interest in NFTs, was never cared to even look at it until he started talking about NFTs so much. And that's when the homie Johnny Dunn put under a GaryVee post, yo, y'all should check out VeVe. And that's where I saw VeVe. That's where I first found VeVe at, thanks to Johnny Dunn and GaryVee. So I would not be invested in VeVe without Gary. So that being said, I also have done a lot of time studying and researching VeVe. So that's why my perspective is so strong in their favor, because I understand what GaryVee does. I was following him for a reason, like long before I even heard about VeVe. I followed GaryVee because obviously I believe in GaryVee. So when it comes down to collectibles in this whole space as a whole, it's just a mindset thing. GaryVee, anytime I hear him talking about collecting and collectibles and stuff like that, going to garage sales and stuff and finding, it's always about the good deal. The thrill of building a business, the thrill of generating money, buying something low and selling it high. And if you don't know, I still have a little bit of a cold here, so excuse me a little bit. I'm still getting over having COVID, you know, so yeah, I have a little bit of a cough. And before we get too far into it, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. But yeah, that being said, when it comes down to GaryVee, he's always talking about the thrill of the sale, the thrill of finding the deal and things like that, which there's nothing wrong with that. I love that aspect. That is why I was following him. I wanted to know how to make money. What can I do to make money? What are the moves that I can make? What would you do? I love the information that he provides. He definitely, what he provides is essential to the world. But David, you kind of can't compare the two, because this is the difference between a visionary and then a guy who's just very, very good at generating money and seeing opportunity. And it's a difference, because the thing is, David Yu is very, very good at generating money. He sees the exact same opportunity that GaryVee sees, but he just has a completely different vision that's so much bigger than just generating money. And that is why I stick behind VeVe the way that I do, because it's just no comparison. It's night and day for sure. So if you know GaryVee, if you've watched GaryVee's content, you know how he's, okay, let me get this deal. I'm gonna flip this and make some money from this. Listen to Gary. Listen to David Yu talking about his craft. Listen to David Yu talking about what he cares about. Just listen.
well, maybe I should tilt the camera a little bit. This is just one part of it, and maybe we'll walk around later on if we have time. So, you know, this is where my space that I normally work at.
This is the space that he works at. So you realize damn near everything in this office can be flipped for a bigger profit, right?
Oh, wow.
But look at where it's at right now. All of this stuff.
Up there.
Oh, man. Wow. Look at
There's
that.
a couple floors.
Couple of floors. He has a couple of floors of collectibles, which he could flip all of them for profit, but he's not doing that. It's long term for him. It's a hold. He loves it.
Collectibles. And I got a couple of warehouse.
He has a couple of warehouses. He didn't just say I got a couple of storage lockers or something. He said I have a couple of warehouses. So this is all stuff that could easily be flipped, and he could easily make a profit from all of this stuff, but that's not why he's in it. That's not why he's been in it. he has spent millions of dollars collecting, just simply collecting out of the love of it. He started at 17 building a business, and while he could have built some type of flipping business or something like that, he could have just like he could have used his knowledge to make money in a flipping type of way. Instead, he built a successful business that still runs to this day. And at 17, he was forward seeing enough to do what he loved and turn that into a business that's still thriving today. And at 17, he was able to secure the Pokemon license thanks to Alfred Kahn. At 17 years old, that's just the difference in mindset here. David actually loves collecting. He loves, like, it. GaryVee is knowledgeable. Being knowledgeable isn't the same. Like, GaryVee loves the business aspect of it. David Yu actually loves the collectible itself. He sees the value in the product. He sees the, it's kind of hard to explain, but at the same time, it's just they have different perspectives. They're both very, very good at what they do, but one is the perspective that leads a man to building a multi-million-dollar business and building something where he wants to try to push the world forward into the digital age, taking this stuff that he loves, and the fact that he loves it, it's obvious. Look at the room that he's in right now. Look at the fact that he has multiple warehouses of collectibles and valuables and things like that he doesn't just want to sell. Like, so many people, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I had David Yu, if David Yu did a giveaway where I got to win his house, I'm selling everything in it. I'm just saying, like, bro, I need the bread. That's just what it is. Like, even if I didn't need the bread, I would rather have the profit because I don't value collectibles the same way that he does. So when you look at a guy who's this passionate about collectibles and you see how VeVe has moved, see what VeVe has done, see how VeVe is setting the standard. Like, even if you look at Recur's past and the way that they're going about certain things, a lot of these companies are starting to be influenced by VeVe now. That's because VeVe is led by a real collector who loves this space, who fully understands this space. So if you want to put GaryVee's knowledge of collecting in the entire space up against David, I would choose David nine times out of 10. And honestly, if you want to put David Yu's knowledge of the NFT space up against GaryVee, I would probably still put my money on David Yu as well. Because just because David Yu isn't running around here trying to convince all his friends and stuff to give him money and things like this, that does not mean he's not knowledgeable. Because you got to keep in mind that David Yu is the same man who predicted this technology coming before it came. David Yu knew that there was a need for it before it came. GaryVee knew that knew that it was going to be valuable and saw that there's a need for it after it was here. He saw something, he was like, you know what? That's a very useful thing. David Yu, before it existed, it's like, yo, we need like ownership, digital ownership of these collectibles, that's needed. And then the technology comes and he has a business planned around it. It's different levels. GaryVee, I shout out for seeing opportunity, taking advantage, and being able to do what he does. Absolutely brilliant. He's amazing at that. But it's just a completely different thing when it comes down to a visionary seeing something missing and knowing that something is needed in the world, and then like planning for it way before it comes. Then once it comes, having a business in place to capitalize off of it and to really build towards a future and a dream that you have. And it's just not about the money. It's clearly not about the money. So, I mean, that's just my perspective on it. Let's see what else he has to say.
For things that I collected over the years. Yeah, I mean, books. We've got some, even Mickey Mouse first edition. And
look at that. He got some Star Wars around him. He got the Mickey Mouse first edition, which he's talking about.
Super rare. We can go through it later. Score myself one of these OGs, 1930s. In pretty good condition.
1930s, like, he knows the product. He knows it. He knows what year that's from. Listen, if you look around his office, he could probably tell you everything about everything that's in there. I wouldn't even know how I don't even remember everything on VeVe, and that's what I'm invested in. So when you have people who's truly passionate, that's how you know who's passionate about the product. And like me personally, my style is more similar to GaryVee, to be completely honest with you. I'm less David Yu and more GaryVee. Like I know enough that I know what I need to know to make a profit from it. That's it. When it comes down to trying to lead something and move a company into the future, I feel like somebody like David Yu is much better in doing that, because you cannot have the same vision as him if you don't know the products that well, if you don't know the years and what made them so valuable. Why is this worth something? Why does this mean something? Being able to know this about a wide variety of categories like David Yu does, it's that knowledge is invaluable. Obviously, we have Google, we can all research it and educate ourselves, but to have all these years of, like, he started at 17 and that's when he just started his business. This has clearly been a passion of his since he was a kid. So for him to have this wide knowledge base that he can pull on, it really is invaluable. It really is invaluable. And I think that's the biggest difference. That's definitely the biggest difference. And I think that it's just a different skill set that people need to consider. Like I don't believe that everything has to be seen as a competition, to be completely honest. When it comes down to GaryVee and David Yu, me personally, I don't think there's any type of comparison. They're two different types of successful men. They're both very, very successful. They both deserve to be where they are, but it's just two different types of success. And when it comes down to the long-term outlook of where this project is going to go and what's going to be here 10, 20 years from now, I would much quicker put my money on VeVe than I would Recur. Now, if it comes down to what's going to turn the quickest profit and who's going to make a quick boom and blow up, I mean, Recur is definitely in that conversation. There's nothing wrong. Like people saying, like, you haven't seen me argue once with anyone who says, yo, yeah, I bought some stuff from Recur and I'm just gonna flip it and I'm gonna put those earnings into VeVe. That makes sense. I mean, it definitely makes sense, because personally, that's all I would use Recur for if I was gonna do it. But yeah, I mean, it's just different. It's different perspectives, I guess. I just, me personally, I more so like go all in and go heavy on what I believe in, which is VeVe. I don't feel the need to diversify, especially into a competitor, because it's not. I'm in a real thing. If I'm in Coca-Cola, why am I investing in why am I investing in root beer? Like, you know, I'm in Coca-Cola. Why am I invested in RC? It's like I would just rather put more money in Coca-Cola. It's like it's just that simple for me. So that's my perspective on it. Now, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own perspectives. Like, I think that, and then it's just a big debate when it comes down to diversification and things like that in general. Some people don't want to diversify. If you make a good decision, the fact of the matter is you don't have to diversify. Like, if you know for a fact Amazon is going to be Amazon against all other competitors, if you know Amazon will be Amazon, it's stupid to diversify, because if your investment in Amazon would have made you much more money if you just would have went 100% in on Amazon. But investors mitigate risk. I mean, the best, I feel like, I'm not going to say the best, but if you choose the right investment, diversification is actually dumb. It's very dumb. Like, if you have chosen Amazon, if you have Tesla, if you have all this stuff, if you catch this at ground level and you know for a fact is that, diversification makes no sense at that point. Diversification only makes sense when you're not sure. And I mean, yeah, it's nothing wrong with not being sure. If you honestly, if you say I'm not sure, I got stuff all over just in case, smart. That's very, very smart. But you're not going to be as successful as someone who is very, very good at spotting, oh, that's Amazon. Oh, that's Coca-Cola. Oh, that's Netflix. Oh, that's VeVe. Like, the person who just puts all in is of course just going to get more benefit than you. It's inevitable. But I mean, everyone is going to win. Everyone is going to be in a better position, because the winners are going to win big. So I mean, yeah, it's just all about perspective. Whatever makes sense from your investment strategy standpoint, that's what it comes down to. Your investment strategy, I feel like, because when it comes down to your investment strategy, if your strategy is, okay, I'm gonna diversify, I'm gonna take the profits, put it here, and like that's your strategy, then that works. That's good. That's good for you. And you should not stray from your strategy because this guy over here goes 100% all in. Because yes, like, he could be wrong. He could definitely be wrong. So it's just, it's people with a plan and strategy tend to do much better than those without, because all you have to do is stick to your plan and stick to your strategy, and you should be fine. It's as long as it's a good one. Now, if you just come up with a completely ridiculous strategy, then I mean, sticking to it won't help you very much. But if you're wise enough to know that you need a strategy to begin with, you're probably not going to come up with a strategy that's too bad, to be honest. I mean, could you come up with a strategy that makes more money, or could it be more impactful in the long run, or is there a better strategy? I mean, maybe, who knows? But I mean, it's just important to stick to a strategy, period. And everyone should be fine. But this is my thoughts.
You know, some of my books I collect, I got Virginia Woolf, one of the most sought after, you know, writer and, you know, collectible books, to comics we'll talk about, to artworks. Yeah, bit of everything.
So as you can see, man, this was just excuse me, y'all. This was just a brief moment that I really wanted to point out in comparison to like GaryVee, and just to like point out the different types of businessmen that they are. One is just true passion for the product. Another is just true passion for the thrill of business. I think David Yu is less passionate about business and more passionate about the business that he's in. I think he's more passionate about the business that he's in. I think as long as Gary is in business and in some form of business world where he can generate money and like make a difference, leave an impact, I think he's happy. He's like a kid in a candy shop. While David Yu walking into Comic-Cons, being surrounded by so many comics and stuff like that, and that being the business that he's dedicated his life to, he's a kid in the candy shop there. And that's what's made him so successful. So I definitely believe that Willy Wonka, I would rather follow Willy Wonka's lead as opposed to somebody who's just jumping in trying to make profit in the candy industry. I think that Willy Wonka is the better choice. But that's just me. Like I said, like, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. It's definitely a great discussion to have. I think that it is a discussion that needs to be had. Like, everyone needs to come up with investment strategies and come up with your own thoughts and stuff like that. But hearing what each other has to say about this stuff is very, very important and valuable as well. So let me know your thoughts. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you all in the next one. Peace out, Joe.